Welcome back to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. This is Raw is Retro, and we are here reviewing Raw from the 2nd of March, 1998. I am your host, Ross, and with me as ever, is Lord Manny Hayes.
Or Thirst Trapper Jones. However, we have come up with a nickname for you.
Oh, okay.
We should have probably left this for when we're all together.
Right.
But this came off Big Boss Man Chicken. So I can't. What was it? Big Ross, the Big Ross Man, or
Big Ross Man,
or oh no, Big Boss Bell. There you go, Big Boss Bell.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's after I out myself as a massive racist on the Thursday show last week with my picture of me dressing up as Hulk Hogan. Shameful. It was 7 years ago. 8 years ago, actually. So yeah, I've made mistakes. I'm sorry. I'd like to move on past this.
He was an 80s icon, Ross.
Exactly. Yeah, I was born in the
80s icon. It's acceptable.
I went the full length and I bleached my mustache and everything. And on the way back from the pub that night, some woman thought it was a fake one, tried to pull it off. Yeah, it was attached to my face. It is. Anyway, we are here to talk about Raw from 1998. We're live from the Gund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, which that's the name I recognise. They still go back there, I think. It's like the Miz's home turf, isn't it?
Yeah, I learned also from a Pat McAfee interview that WWE don't actually have realised that some places can't actually hold their set.
Oh, right.
So they're the reasons they don't go back to them. And sometimes where you'll see them go to the same place twice in a year.
Yeah. That makes sense because the set list now is huge, isn't it? That massive screen. Like back here, it was just a little curtain. It wasn't even a Titantron for half of it. There's occasionally a small screen which was like an overhead projector projecting the video on.
Yeah.
But yes, we are live. We are here in Gund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. DX start the show.
Returning DX. Been away for a while.
Yeah, they've been away for, is it 2 weeks? I think
3 weeks. Ever since the end of the Royal Rumble, they haven't really been on Raw.
No, not been around a lot. Shawn comes out with his full cowboy gear, which he's still rocking 21 years later, which I appreciate, like that. Got the cowboy hat on, got the sunglasses and the boots and everything.
Yeah.
He says some stuff about DX and Mike Tyson and Austin and all that sort of stuff. And it was a bit weak, I thought, this opening. Like the actual DX part, we'll get to Stone Cold in a second, but the DX bit just felt a bit like colour by numbers for me.
Yeah, I think I noticed in the lead up to WrestleMania, everything Shawn Michaels said was pretty much everything he said at this point as well.
Yeah,
nothing really changed. Yeah.
I think he knows that his time's done, and it's all Austin's the man now, and it's all about Austin and Tyson. Really, Shawn's just there as the third wheel almost.
Yeah, it's very much as we've already mentioned. It's very much if you go into the future, it's Cena, Rock, and The Miz at that WrestleMania where we all knew it was this massive thing between The Rock and Cena going forward for the two. It was supposed to be once in a lifetime. Maybe we got it twice in a lifetime.
Twice in a lifetime.
But like we don't. The interesting thing about this is you don't see Tyson after Mania anymore after this either. So
no, he's done.
Yeah, so it's very interesting that like it was almost like you push Shawn Michaels to the side for this when realistically he could have been an even better heel.
Yeah.
To counter Steve Austin, but they've used the hatred between Tyson and Austin about who's the baddest man on the planet to really fuel this.
Yeah, it's a shame because Shawn is he's obviously on so many drugs at this point, but he's still a fantastic wrestler at this point, and he's kind of been pushed aside, like you say. But Austin does come out, he gets face to face with DX, and the lights go out, and when they come back on, DX are nowhere to be seen, but Austin's in the ring, and Kane and Barrett appear on the ramp just to set up a match tonight, basically.
Yeah.
And then that's it, they just go. This whole start thing, just really anticlimactic. Like, nothing really happened.
No, but it's interesting to see the evolution of this, though, because, like, the opening segments never really were that good. No. Because it was always this kind of split. It always felt like this split show where they'd get a bit more edgier in the second hour.
Yeah.
And so it was always this split story that never really set up the second part of the show properly anyway.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then Austin gets on commentary, doesn't he? He pushes Michael Cole out of the way, takes his headset.
Yeah, he literally shoved him out of the
way. Stumbles over his lines a little bit. I think he's at this point just struggling to come to terms with he's now a proper good guy. Like as good as Austin ever was, he's still like a dick, but like he still can't get rid of some of those heel tendencies.
Yeah, I think that was the angst though. That was like this feels like the turning point. Yeah, this was the turning point. This is you can see this is the slight turning point where things started to go into WWE's favor a bit more.
Yeah.
And you start to see that a bit more after WrestleMania, but this is like the building block of like, yeah, things are changing.
Yeah, they're no longer. It's not all about WCW and NWO. It's coming back this way. Our first match of the evening is the New Age Outlaws taking on the DOA. So there's so many acronyms in the Raw at a minute. I get confused as to who's who. The NAO taking on the DOA. This match doesn't really happen, does it? Lasts a minute.
No.
There's a dumpster at ringside. There's definitely no one inside it, though, is there? Definitely.
The annoying thing about this is the DOA were happy because this was a tag team title match. And the DOA were fine with a DQ finish. Like, I just didn't understand it. Like, I would be furious if someone cost me a chance at the tag team titles, but these guys were all right. Even though this went on for like a minute, like I'd still be pissed.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a minute, 20 odd seconds, I think, this match, and I think it was a count out victory because Cactus and Chainsaw obviously pop out of the dumpster, and the Outlaws run away, and that's it. Like that's the end of the match.
Yeah,
there you go, DOA. That was your tag team title opportunity. Gone in a flash. We cut to a video package of the whole Mark Marrow, Goldust, Sable, Luna thing that's happening.
I just want to point out this is insane. That main evented essentially last week.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
It's mad how much effort they're putting into this feud.
Yeah. There's 3 people putting over Sable, who is the worst wrestler of all of these people, yet she's the one who's going to have the big career, well, the superstardom after this. Goldust never really hits any higher than Goldust ever got. Luna's gone pretty much after this, I think.
No, she joins with the Oddities after this.
Yeah, she does.
But after the break,
she's done, is she? Pretty much?
Yeah, I think so. After Kurgan breaks away from the Jackal, she ends up with the Oddities and... I think that's probably the last time you see her.
Probably about it, yeah. And then Mark Marrow never really does anything else after this feud. Like once Sable becomes the star, he just drops and drops and drops down that roster until he's released. But we do get, for what feels like the 19th time, Mark Marrow taking on Tom Brandi in a match. I don't know why this still happens every week. It still happens. Mark Marrow wins, obviously, because is it Luna? No, Luna distracts him, doesn't he? Or Brandi, and Marrow hits him with a low blow.
And then with the TKO, which I still feel like is a move that should be utilized a bit more. And I think EC3 does it, but like I feel like it needs to be utilized a bit more. Like it is basically a twisting RKO, but a twisting cutter, but like it's effective.
Yeah, it looks impactful. It's just a shame it's wasted on Mark Marrow at this point. Luna congratulates Mark and they go for a kiss, didn't she, after the match? And then all hell breaks loose. Sable's on her way down, and they have. It's not a fight, is it?
It's a terrible pull apart.
It's awful. I feel bad for Luna because she can wrestle. Like she's a good wrestler. Like she's got to work with Sable and try and make it look like Sable's got the upper hand on her. I just feel so bad for her.
But the thing is, the pull apart happens, and then Sable is slowly walking down the stairs. During that while she's been pulled away.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here?
Does she ever get any better? Like, I don't think she does she?
No.
She's always awful.
No, she's always bad. She's just something to look at.
Yeah, basically. Why does the referee hold her arm up at the end as well? She hasn't won. There's no match in this.
I think Jack Bone holds her arm up. I think the referee definitely got confused.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just wanted to touch her.
Probably, yeah. I can't blame him. Jack Doan doesn't.
I mean, after the thumbnail I used last week, I think a lot of people just remember that they want to touch her.
Yeah.
Or themselves.
Yeah. All the boys at home watching this. We get a European Championship match. Owen Hart taking on Mark Henry, but Mark's not allowed his Nation of Domination boys they're sent back by Saul Lauder. He doesn't want them at ringside. He's quite happy for China to come down there at some point.
I just feel like how green Mark Henry was in it, like at this time, and Owen Hart made him look credible.
Yeah, like it speaks volumes of how good Owen Hart is, because Henry is bad at this point. It takes another 15 years for Mark.
I don't think for me, I don't think he was ever that good. Like he was passable for a lot of it. I don't think he was ever that good. I wouldn't ever go far as to say he was the best big man in the game at any era he was in.
The Hall of Pain stuff was good, but he was working with Christian, he was working with Randy, like people that could work with him to make him look like an absolute monster. This match has got quite long for a Raw match. Quite long for a Mark Henry match as well at this point. Five odd minutes, I think it went. And it was pretty good. Owen does so much work, though, bless him. He has to put everything into this. And then, China comes down to just continue that Triple H, China and Owen kind of feud that's going on. Is it another low blows? 2 low blows in a succession?
Yeah, so it was a bear hug, and then that wasn't enough to put down Owen. So
his armor dropped twice, though. Like Mark Henry was fully in control of this. China didn't
but it would lead to which I haven't seen in such a long time.
Yeah, it's a proper Hulk Hogan.
Where you suddenly get your second wind.
Yeah, and then absolutely nowhere.
Then China rolls in for the low blow.
Match over. Michael Cole runs over to China and asks why she did that, and she says because she can. Fair enough. Just do it in every match then, because you can. Why not?
Yeah.
We see Vince chatting with Tyson backstage. Don't really know what's going on, but then we get a pretty good 6-man match between the Headbangers and Taka taking on the Rock and Roll Express and Barry Windham. This match goes under 2 minutes, I think.
Do you know what I don't understand about this? The Rock and Roll Express have their own type of music, but they've come out through the Rockers.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Is this a network thing, though?
I'm not sure. I know there was a Mike Tyson thing where it felt like a network thing. I'd have to double check that.
The network dub overs are so bad. Yeah. They're awful. Like when you
that one felt real. That one definitely felt real because there was crowd noise and everything behind it. But it might be a good dub.
Maybe it will. Maybe I doubt it. This match goes for a minute. The good guys win basically. This got to be the end, didn't it? Did we see more? I can't remember if we see more of the NWA.
Yeah, because we let it later move on to the new Midnight Express with Cornette.
Oh god, yeah, true. Brilliant. That's the end of the Raw is War part of the section. We're now into the War Zone where stuff actually happens. Vince comes out talking about Tyson. And then this is when we get the bit that everyone kind of one of the moments that are on all the montages of Attitude Era stuff. It's when Tyson joins DX.
Yeah,
him and Michaels are having a little push and shove in the ring, and then Michaels really theatrically rips off Tyson's t-shirt, and then Mike does his crotch chops.
They were really bad crotch chops as well.
So bad. How is he that bad at it?
He just seems really. Every time he's on camera on WWE, he just seems so uncomfortable.
Yeah, like you'd think he'd be used to it by now, but maybe because
he seems so out. Yeah, it's not his world, but he feels so out of depth as well.
Because for the guys he's in there, I suppose. Like Sean's the top of the tree, and Hunter's on his way up, and Vince is a supremely professional with the mic, and even Austin's he's just got that swagger about him, and Tyson's just like, he is Mike Tyson, but he's not really Mike Tyson in this world. We get a match between Steve Blackman and Karma. It's all right, actually, for a Karma match.
This wasn't bad. This wasn't bad at all. It's just the moment you said Steve Blackman is the originator of the glow, I cannot unsee it. And it's your fault. It is 100% your fault that I can't unsee this now.
When Naomi inevitably turns on Ronda after tonight's, I'm just dating this, but after tonight's match in Jeddah, I want to see some Naomi training with Steve Blackman videos in the run up to like a WrestleMania match or something.
Why have you dated this? Now people know it's the 19th of February.
I'm just so excited for the Super Show, whatever it's called, Elimination Chamber, that one. This match is all right. It's only 3 minutes for these two guys. Like, why does no match get any time at all?
Everything's ended in somewhat of a DQ.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a DQ finish because Blackman has beaten Farouk and The Rock in recent weeks. He gets a shot at Karma. He seems like he's working the wrong way down through the Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
Like, you should work through Karma and Delos to get to Farouk and The Rock, but no, he's gone the other way, which is pretty weird.
He's still undefeated.
True. Karma's coming off the back of his Ultimate Fighting Machine character, isn't he, at this point? So this is a battle for the ages. Blackman wins. I think Blackman wins. It's a DQ finish, isn't it? Another DQ finish. Then we get Jeff Jarrett with his new manager. Go on, Manny. Who's here?
No, they keep calling him his promoter.
Well, yeah, he's like that era's version of Paul Heyman, isn't he? He's the special.
Well, he also looks like your boy's dad. Your boy Billy Gunn's dad, Tennessee. Like he 100% looks like an old version. Like he looks like present day Billy Gunn.
Disrespecting Billy Gunn, outrageous. The man's in his 60s and looks like a machine.
He took over Jeff Jarrett. Is this the one where Jeff Jarrett comes out on a horse?
Is that this week? He comes back in his country music gear, definitely. He's been
coming out on a horse, and then referring. Now he's the greatest. He's not the greatest wrestler in the world anymore. He's just back to being JE double F JA double R E double T.
It's too long. That name is too long to do that for.
Double J.
Yeah.
But on the on-screen graphics now, he's just Double J. It's not Jeff Jarrett. He's just Double J.
Yeah, it's like Seth freaking Rollins. That's his new name. He's just Double J. He's got so many gimmicks, this man. Like, he just rotates through them.
They're not good gimmicks either.
No, none of them are. Like you said, I think on our last show, the best one he does is when he's Guitar Boy, like slapping when silver and white pants. Just Slapnuts, Jeff Jarrett.
Slapnuts, Jeff Jarrett, which he carried over into WCW.
He did. To become the leader of the NWO.
To be fair, though, his King of the Mountain stuff in Impact or TNA back in the day was good till you got tired of it because it was like, oh, this is Triple H, sucker.
Yes. When he's feuding with AJ and that sort of stuff, he's actually, it's good to watch. But yeah, at this point, no. I always hated Jeff Jarrett. Always. Never excited to see him wrestle. And he's good. He's really good in the ring. He's really passable. He's a solid wrestler. He can talk. There's something about him that I just hate watching.
It's because you've got two options here. Yeah. You've got Shawn Michaels or you've got Jeff Jarrett.
Exactly, yeah. And that's definitely where Jeff sees himself as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's kind of where you lean to, is like, who do I want?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a rich kid when I was growing up, so you had a choice of two toys, and it was like, which one do you want? And I was like, I'll take this one. It was never Jeff. He wins this match. It's like a squash match, basically. Just destroys Flash Funk in 3 odd minutes. And figure 4 for the submission win. Jennifer Flowers is the mystery WrestleMania celebrity. To someone going back and watching this now, she means absolutely nothing. But she was Monica Lewinsky before Monica Lewinsky, I think, is how we can best reference that. But also, if you are watching this with no knowledge of who Monica Lewinsky is, have a Google. Have a Google about who she is. I mean, you don't
have to waste of time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a waste of time, to be honest. Don't waste your time doing that.
This is 98, and she was involved with Clinton in 1992. Like, come on. Like, that's the level of celebrity.
What audience are they applying? What audience? What? I understand the demographic is 18 to 49, but
it wasn't last year's mailing with Jenny McCarthy and Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, don't appeal to people 40 and above. Don't do that.
That's current WWE. What are you doing? This is 20 years ago.
Don't need to appeal to people in their 40s.
No, not at this point. You want the kids. They're the ones that are buying all your stuff. I suppose the guys with the 40s are the ones with the credit cards that are paying for all the stuff that the kids want. But yeah, I'm not buying any for Jennifer Flowers merchandise, that's for sure.
Well, I want a Jennifer Flowers shirt.
Jennifer Flowers 92 or something like that. There's lots of little bits and bobs before we get to the main event. So Cole is outside waiting for Tyson. Michaels has lost his t-shirt on the way back. Not sure where he lost that, but don't know. Triple H is shouting, "We are winners." It's great. Lawler says that Tyson joining DX is the biggest wrestling news ever in history.
Well, they haven't heard of present day Cody Rhodes. Will
Exactly.
he? Won't he? That feels like
today.
It broke the wrestling world.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's Cody fucking Rhodes. I hate Cody Rhodes.
No,
he's not good.
Stardust.
And then we get to our main event, which is supposedly a match between Austin and Kane. It never happens. Austin comes out and DX ambush him. DX are in the parking lot a second ago. These boys get around.
Time traveling. They're time traveling. It's the special thing we didn't ever realize about DX.
That's why Sean's eye got so wonky over the years. It's too much time traveling. Affects you.
Yeah.
Sean lays him out, switching music, crotch chops, and they just disappear. Come back from a break, and Kane is on his way to the ring, who beating up some fan.
Yeah, he beat up a kid.
Yeah, seems unnecessary. Like, you're a big scary bloke. Like,
well, they claimed it was a kid, but
yeah.
he looked older. He looked old enough.
It's probably Brian Kendrick or something like that. They get into the ring to get the timekeeper, Mark Yeaton, and they want to do a 10-bell salute. We get to 2 or 3 bongs on the bell before he gets chokeslammed and tombstoned, and just Bearer says Kane has 1 tombstone left, but who's it for? Who is it for, Manny? What happens next?
Well, I feel like they were taunting Lawler and Ross,
yeah,
which I felt like Ross deserved one. Ross definitely deserved one, but he goes on burnt later on.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
but then there's a casket on the stage,
just out of nowhere,
like a really cheap one too.
Yeah,
it's not like the ones he's taken time and effort, like when he built one for Yokozuna and Kamala back in the day.
This is off the rack.
This is definitely like he hasn't even put velvet in it or anything.
Just some cheap MDF board from Wix. He just knocked it together quick.
By the way, Wix is basically America's Home Depot.
Home Depot? Yeah. Sorry, very British, the show. Yeah, it's not good. Lightning strikes it and it just explodes. And the Undertaker's just left lying there.
Yeah.
And it is. And he does his sit up and stares at Kane. It's pretty effective. I'm always a mark for Taker stuff, and the supernatural stuff is always I'm always on board with that.
I am, but when you look back at it, it's not really done well. Like you know when you see when we go back and watch an old movie like for instance, what's always on Goonies?
Yeah,
and you watch everything that happens in it, like it's magical. Like it still holds it. It doesn't hold up, but it's still one of my favorite movies from as a kid. But like, it's just like, oh,
yeah, 98 raw special effects, and
it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. But we'll get onto that on another episode.
Yeah, we will get there. Taker talks for a long time. That says, he's coming for Kane, and they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. Yeah, it's going to be awful.
May the hounds of hell eat Kane's rotting soul.
Lovely.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, JR goes mad, doesn't he? At the end of this, like
I can do
JR.
What a moment! Outro. What a feeling! The Undertaker is back to wage war on his own flesh and blood.
It's proper. Like JR loves to be the last voice on Raw, and he sign off with his big epic thing.
Yeah.
I quite like it.
And then he ends it with "Good night, everybody."
Yeah,
like it's an actual news broadcast.
Very odd use of Austin on this show. He came out, he said some stuff at the start, he gets beaten up by DX. That's really it.
Thing is, for the next 4 weeks, it does feel like a very strange use of the number one contender
Yeah.
Going into WrestleMania.
The future of your company. Just mess around with him. That is it. That is this episode of Raw. It went by with not really much happening. Nothing seemed to progress much, even though Tyson's now part of DX. I think because we know what happens, it didn't feel that big of a moment to me.
I feel like it's strange, but I feel like this should have ended Raw.
Yes.
I mean, the Tyson stuff should have ended Raw, and then you have the Kane Undertaker stuff end the first hour.
Yeah, you could have had that start Warzone, Kane and Taker. And you definitely needed to end the show with them ripping off that t-shirt and they were all in the ring court shopping. That would have been a much better go home.
Yeah.
But never mind. Match of the night. Manny, there's quite a few to pick from. None of them are any good, though. Got to be Owen.
No. I'm not giving it to it. Ended in DQ. I'm not giving it to it. I'm gonna give it to Jeff Jarrett and Flash Funk.
Fair enough. A 3-minute Jeff squash match is the match of the night.
What's yours?
It's going to be Owen and Mark just because of the amount of work that Owen put in. I know it finishes in a DQ, but I was enjoying it up to that point as much as you can enjoy a Mark Henry 98 match. Your MVP for the night? Mine's Owen, definitely.
Yeah, it does have to be. It feels like it should be Owen. But I'm going to give it to Mike Tyson's bad cross.
That's definitely the image for this podcast, please.
Yeah. This is Mike Tyson.
Just pointing at his thighs. His really weird arms. So there we go. That is this week's episode of Raw is Retro on the Sharpshooters Network. You can find us on Twitter at Sharpies Network. You can find us on all the social media accounts at the Sharpshooters or Sharpies Network. Just search us out, like us, subscribe to us, comment and leave all your thoughts and feelings on our episodes on YouTube. The boys will be back on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays with all the regular content. So there's plenty to look out for. And
we're doing a lot for you.
Doing a hell of a lot.
We're doing a lot for you. Yes, you watching that made it this far. We're doing a lot for you.
If you're watching this on the 4th of March, there was a live stream of the Super Showdown. Not Super Showdown. I keep saying Super Showdown. Elimination Chamber.
I've been calling it Crown Jewel. I've been calling it Crown Jewel for weeks, and Marcus has been correcting me. It's Elimination Chamber.
It's the greatest Royal Crown Jewel Chamber ever. We do there's live streams, there's watch-alongs, there's everything on the Sharpshooters Network. So get involved, like us, subscribe to us, follow us, share us. Tell your friends, tell your mum. Your mum used to watch wrestling with you back in the 90s. She might like this. Yeah. There you go. That is it. Until next week, we will be back with another episode of Raw on the road to WrestleMania. 3 weeks to go. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.